As lunch bell ring, everybody run, come gather round in the square, ready fi have fun. On a ring game time, on a hide and seek. Give me some fun squares with nacho cheese. Fun squares with nacho cheese. A fun cracker that we need. Bold flavor, yes indeed. Give me some fun squares with nacho cheese. Fun squares with nacho cheese. Fun squares with nacho cheese. The fun cracker that we need. National Fun Squares with nacho cheese. National Fun Square, share a square, share the fun.
Talk Up Yout is powered by National Baking Company in association with Cranwatha, a Stanley and Empress production, giving the youth a voice.
Talk Up Yout, myself a Talk Up Yout.
And so we come to know these youths and show these youths. Talk up youth, help the youths to know them roots. Nurture them, protect and love and hear these youths. Music make them know I love we show these youths.
Mr. Save the youth, I kill the youth, I talk up youth, I build the youth, I trick and fool and pill the youth, I talk up youth, I build the youth, empower and then skill the youth, I talk up youth, I build the youth, talk up youth in Jamaica, we are
Build the youths there.
talk up youth in Jamaica.
Yes. Hello to all the young people watching right now. There have been quite a number of controversial cases in the press regarding the suspension of students for various infractions against the school rules. From tight uniforms to Afro-kinky hair, are high school rules effective and efficient in preparing you, the young people, for the working world? Or are they unnecessarily archaic and rooted in colonialism? Now, my school administrators, teens, Ministry of Education, and parents, listen to the youth them to see if they believe we should abandon or abide the high school rules. Long time ago, high school it up. But your voice is what's most important. Talk Up Yout.
We have to build the youths there.
Talk up youth in Jamaica.
Why must I suppress my personality in high school? Why must I aspire to look uniform and just like my peers in class? Why am I not allowed to grow my hair how I want to? Why am I not allowed to wear clothes that fit me? Not necessarily clothes that are too tight, but clothes that make me feel comfortable when I'm sitting in class.
We fail to really be able to realize that students are being denied access to educational facilities based on cosmetic issues, based on 2 inches off of their skirt. Never under any circumstances should a Jamaican child, be denied access to education based on their appearance.
Why am I not allowed to express myself with my afro? Why can't I go out expressing myself, my own individuality? Isn't it enough that I wear the Babylon khaki suit? Isn't it enough that I come to school on time? Why can't I express myself? How does dress regulations help me to become smarter or become dumber? It has no relevance. What is its real relevance?
You see, the thing with some of these rules is that they're grounded in our colonial history when we've moved so far past it. Take, for instance, a situation where a young man is going to be told that he can't grow his hair too high, and it's usually the gentleman with hair like mine. But then people with Caucasoid, straight Indian even hair, they're allowed to grow their hair longer than this. What's the basis? Where's the equality? Are we going to allow the colonialism to continue even when we've been saying that we've left it?
Rules are implemented for a reason, and that reason is for the benefit of a greater society. School without rules, chaos. As students, we need to understand that we put teachers' job in jeopardy when we break the rules. For example, the attendance, dress code, and discipline policies are all in the planner and in each course of the syllabus for a reason.
Well, I'm glad I'm not the only person on this panel that's pro-school rules. If you break school rules, then therefore you will break the rules that the working world has set out. And most panelists aren't arguing the fact that these rules are saying, is it preparing you for the working world? Rules such as punctuality, time management, decorum, those rules are seen in the working world. If you break them in school, you're more than likely to break them in the working world, and the penalty will not be nice.
So we've raised some pretty good issues. Some of us think that some rules are relevant, while others think they aren't. We'll talk about it, we'll soon come back.
We have to build the youths there.
Talk up youth in Jamaica.
There is no other bun like this one. The flavor is so good. Who say bun can't sweet? Oops, mind you bite your finger.
National spiced buns, baked with national pride.
My wow moment.
My wow moment.
My wow moment.
Kind of water with wow.
That's my wow. That's my wow. Yeah. What we do? Watch out.
My wow moment when I get the highest massage.
That's my wow.
What's how we do wow? When me get 16 at maths and me never expect so much. That's my wow.
I know what's how we do wow. When school over, I'ma get for me out. That's my wow.
What's how we do wow?
I'ma get my back food. That's my wow. Can water with wow.
What's how we do wow?
Wait. Take a bite of National Giant Hardo. Nothing comes close. How do you hardo? Bread and patty? Bread and butter?
National Giant Hardo bread, baked with national pride.
Your future come first, talk the truth. Youths in the caucus out, wanna score, if you want be cute, try get high grades, that high grade.
Get high grades in your brain and nothing in your lungs, the strip on IV. Don't blind your vision with smoke on the devil. Tell your friends themselves to stop doing.
Decriminalization don't mean it legalized. You can still be penalized. Why you penalizing your lungs with ganja? Hey, youths be wise.
Youths know the facts. Follow us at Drug Free JA. Brought to you by the National Council on Drug Abuse.
We have to build the youths there.
Youth in Jamaica.
Tammy, you said that if there was no rules, there'd be chaos. Yes, that's true. I'm just saying that some rules should be removed. For example, limiting your hair, right? Why should I wear hair the same as everybody else? What does having a hairstyle that I am comfortable with hinder me from learning, right? Why must girls wear long tablecloth skirts, right? Why can't a girl feel and look like a girl and feel comfortable? My mother's friend said that she saw an interview of this woman, I don't remember her name, but she went to Woolman's and she was showing a picture of when she went to Woolman's, they wore short skirts so that Woolman's girls could teach them how to cross their legs. Why was that so then, and why is it a problem now?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but guys, hear me out. Following rules shows respect. Obeying rules is a life skill. But all these things that we are learning in school is preparing us for the working world.
Yeah, Navier, you said something about rules, and the thing won't prevent you from getting an education, right? Yes. Please don't mess up the mood we are talking about. It's not about education, it's about preparing you for the working world.
But it involves
No. Wait. I'm saying, some work, you can't wear a specific height or amount of hair.
And that's some work. And not everybody is planning to go into that specific work, are they?
The anchor of the motion that we are discussing is, are these rules preparing you for the world of work? It's not, are these rules preparing you
could you help
for
me out,
education
because this was your point, you know.
Okay. Listen to me. The world of work is evolving, and we have a problem evolving as well. Now, if you look inside of the work world, and I've taken a good look, persons are now wearing bleached hairs, persons now have nose rings, persons now have short... No? Oh, okay. Persons are now wearing short skirts. No, it's a reality. And if it is that you're preparing us for this world of work, what are you really preparing me for?
Mr. Elrando, do you work?
All right, I'm going to say this.
No, are you working?
Yes,
are you working?
I'm a
and look at your hair. Look at your hair, sir.
I'm a guidance counselor, and according to the institution of which I work, this is not a problem, and I am on break. I am currently not at work. I am on break. I work with the Ministry of Education. It's from September to the following year. What I'm saying, you know the rules of the institution. You know the rules of the institution. You follow the rules of the institution. So if it is that, then you are in school, and the school rule says A and B. The school rule says, all right, reach school at 7. If you reach school 7:30, you won't be admitted until 9. Why are you having a problem being punctual?
I'm not having a problem being punctual. Wait. No one said anything about punctuality. There's good points to why being punctual is good. But why is there good points to why shaving my head to look like the top of an aki is good? Why is that?
All right, hold on. So there are two.
Where is the good points in that? Why can't I express myself?
Hold on, Navier. There are two things that he said just now. The first one that I really have a problem with is, if you come late, we're going to lock you out. Not necessarily out onto the road, but we're going to prevent you from entering.
They do.
Hold on. I know that there are schools that do, but you're late, so I'm going to prevent you entry, which is going to make you further late, which is going to prevent you from getting into the class. So the whole essence of what we're doing now is shifting from what the main thing of going to school is, which is your education, to proving a point. Some of the times we end up proving the wrong point. And I'll go to the issue that happened at Cambridge High School, where the young lady, she had chemotherapy, she lost the hair, and so she had extensions put in to come to graduate. And the young lady was barred from the graduation solely on the premise that she had in the extensions, when this was someone who was their head girl, was a deputy head girl or head girl. She was supposed to be the valedictorian.
And that's just unfair.
Hold on, she was one of their most exemplary students. She overcame chemotherapy and cancer to make it to graduation. And then they told that student that she can't walk. They, in essence, shifted the focus from something that could have been something noteworthy to something as trivial as the fact that she had an extension.
You said that because the rules, you ought to follow them. Lest we forget, slavery was once law. So not because it has been, it's there means it's relevant.
Wait, before we go into slavery, kudos to the girl who had the cancer and did the ear thing. Kudos to her. No, thumbs up on all of that. She should have asked the school permission because she was privy to the school rules. Also, to the thing about being late and you're not admitted on time. If you're in the working world, and you are late, it could be that your pay is either taken out, is going to be short.
No one said anything about being late. No one said anything about
we were taught,
Navier.
I'm saying the thing about punctuality is, and rules overall, it comes with consequences. We are arguing some things that are just trivial, right here. So, because you're going to find these rules in the working world.
Yes, we are going to find
We're not arguing education in the guys, we're arguing rules for the working world.
All of this seems very concept-based and based on your personal opinion. Let's go to facts. Based on the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child, Article 28, it speaks to every child having access to education, and it further speaks to sanctions in schools taking into consideration students' dignity. You removing me from my classroom because my skirt is short, that is not taking into consideration my human dignity, and it is a right for every child to have access to education. So you do not have the right to lock out a student for being 5-10 minutes late, or even being an hour late, as a matter of fact.
And that's one of the problems with our society, actually, because there's a lot of rules that people are like, oh, overseas you can't do this, and that same rule is here in Jamaica because you can get a ticket for littering, but that ticket isn't put out.
Hear me out. Rules are important, yes, but I don't think it really helps us in an extent to obtain a career. Yes, school teaches us to certain values such as determination, which, they challenge our thoughts, give us works to challenge our thoughts, and to train us to become critical thinkers. And in school, we also learn to articulate on our ideas. But does it really and truly prepare us for the working world?
You see a word
Not in every factor.
You bother me. The word train. Me a dog.
Amen.
Yeah? We need to be able to express ourselves.
Amen.
I need to be allowed to express myself, my individuality.
Yes.
And I think that should be an important part of school. High school rules affect education. They aren't separated. Because we realize that if you go into a high school, if you take all the accumulated time that we spend correcting dress regulations, correcting punctualities, we might lose all a complete 3 weeks.
Exactly, a lot of
if
time.
If you think about
and
it,
keep in mind,
all that time could be used to prepare for C-Tech and CAPE and all those exams.
Keep in mind, the age at which people are in high school is the age at which people are finding themselves. I'm trying to figure out, who am I? What do I like? What do I represent and what do I embody? If I am taught or told to just try to fall in line and look like Jack, I'm going to be like Jack. I'm never going to really find who I am.
But even so, we need to stop generalizing high school rules and draw a distinction between those that are relevant and those that are not relevant.
That is what I'm saying.
Punctuality is relevant. You and I know that.
Yes, that's relevant. No one's saying it isn't.
The color of your scrunchie is not important. The color of your shoes, whether it's black or brown, it is not important. What color bag you carry is not important. What color sweater I have on is not important. So we need to stop generalizing high school rules, because I know punctuality is important, deportment is important, all that excitement is important. But just saying high school rules make it seem as if, we're being rebellious, and then make it seem like young people, we're against rules and we don't know how to conform and whatever, when that isn't the case. Because I, for one, don't have a problem with the 2-inch. I don't have a problem. My problem is when you're going to send me home for missing the 2 inches. And oftentimes, students cannot afford to be buying uniforms every year. At my school, what we do is that we have the Don't Close the Gate campaign, but close is spelled like close, right? So when you're leaving the school, you donate your old tunics and your skirts. If a student really genuinely cannot afford a new tunic, you will get one. So instead of locking that student out for the mere 2 inches of the skirt, it can be corrected.
I don't have a problem with the big pants either, no. But I'm very tall. My size doesn't sell in the store and fit my body type, right? I'm long and slim. I'm like an escallion, right? So I have to go get that big pants that would fit my big friend and take it in, right?
Yeah, and we have some rules that are pretty vague, you know. Like the same big pants issue. Camperdown school rule says that you're not allowed to have altered pants. So even if I adjust my pants, tight,
Yes.
But the man says, hey, it alters and if you go home, no man, that can't work at all.
I am saying, because most of the argument is on the repercussion of breaking the rules. And most of us really don't want to say, we are going to cause 2-inch, you miss the 2-inch. I know my fault, make you miss the 2-inch.
So what you're saying?
I'm saying you have to. I'm saying the rules are set out in a handbook.
Sometimes to make that tablecloth or bedsheet skirt, right, you need a lot of material and it costs more. Some people straight up cannot afford that. Some people have to take as little as possible from every little part to add up to make for lunch money after getting all that stuff. Some people can only get rental books. They can't get the
But the argument of the skirt can
and then you're going to say that's not your problem.
It's not my problem if you break the rule and get the consequences.
No. Education should be accessible to all.
We are not arguing education.
Just to clarify something for Eralda so he doesn't spend the entire show missing the point. We're not here debating education. We're debating high school rules. But in order for us to look at the thing comprehensively, we have to look at the fact that how some of these rules are being applied makes it a barrier to education. So while it is that we are not debating education, the fact is high school rules have an effect on education. If it did not have an effect on education, then it would not be inside the school. My argument is when we take this strict liability approach, it does not, because we prepare people for work who works, adults. When adults don't learn moderation, when they don't learn how to be responsible, because you have the whip cracking over them back for 5 to 7 years of high school, how does that prepare you for the world of work? When I was in high school, there was a poem that we did by Olive Senior, Colonial Girls' School, that tells you about how they took away the identity of the students, so to speak. So it was almost as though the persons who were there were telling them that you can't be who you are because this is who I want you to be. And that in and of itself has this colonialist air to it. It has this slavery mentality to it. Because if you look at slavery, when they brought the slaves here, they were told you can't speak in your language, you can't practice your religion. One of the things that they did as well is they encouraged slave owners to make sure that when they bought slaves, they were coming from as many ethno-linguistic tribes as possible to suppress the language. And we're seeing it today where you're being told in some schools that patois is unacceptable, but what do we grow up with in the house? The same patois, what we talk in the community, the same patois. Is it that we are going to keep neutering bits and pieces of ourselves, of our Jamaican identity to fit an old colonial system?
For some reason, right, the generation that is teaching now thinks that lined up students, right, in uniform clothes, same shoes, same belt, and they just look the same going across is the best looking thing and makes a school look functional and impressive.
Some schools do that to protect students who may not be of a high socioeconomic standard. Because if it is that we're told to wear jeans and top, you can pick out the poor children if you're told to wear regular everyday clothes. No, you can pick them out. But
does it eliminate the problem though?
It doesn't, but my issue is the whole regulation because they teach young girls modesty. Now, who are you to tell me what modesty is? Modesty is now based off of European ideologies and European standards.
I love that. And there is a quote that says, who is to say what is proper? If proper was wearing a codfish on your head, would you wear it?
Exactly.
Well, you've heard our arguments concerning high school rules. Most of these arguments basically means that we have to change the tradition and the culture and the ideology of Jamaica, which is a bit impossible.
Your opinion?
But stay with us. We'll be right back after these messages.
We have to build the youths there.
Youth in Jamaica.
As lunch bell ring, everybody run, come gather round in the square, ready fi have fun. On a ring game time, on a hide and seek. Give me some fun squares with nacho cheese. Fun squares with nacho cheese. The fun cracker that we need. Bold flavor, yes indeed. Give me some fun squares with nacho cheese. Fun squares with nacho cheese. Fun squares with nacho cheese. The fun cracker that we need. National fun squares with nacho cheese. National fun square, share a square, share the fun.
My wow moment.
My wow moment.
My wow moment.
Kind of water we wow.
That's my wow. That's my wow. Yeah. What we do? Watch out.
My wow moment when I get the highest in my class. That's my wow. What we do?
When we get 16 maths and me never expect so much. That's my wow.
Kind of water with wow. When school over, I'ma get food on me yard. That's my wow.
Water with wow.
I'ma get my back food. That's my wow. Kind of water with wow.
Water with wow.
We have to build the youth there.
Talk of youth in Jamaica.
Well, let's talk about some solutions. The quickest solution would be to appoint me as Minister of Education. But I don't think the most honorable Andrew Holness is that brave. Schools are made up of mostly students. If there's no students, there's no school. So what we say should have value. It should matter. What we could do is give the student council bodies in schools a bit more power, right? Student council body would have a council, of course, right? And people that vote on particular rules being necessary or the caliber at which they should be executed, right? And then you'd have the president, vice president, and maybe the secretary of the student council body sitting on a board, not the board, but a board that goes over the school rules every 10 years.
What I really want is for Senator the Honorable Railway, though he made a press release, I'm calling for some practical intervention because there needs to be some level of consultation and participation from students where these grooming policies are concerned. I'm fully cognizant of the fact that consultation is made, but with parents and teachers, and they are not the ones these rules or policies are directly affecting. So I want for my students to be able and be free to speak up. Speak to whoever you feel comfortable, if it is your student council body, if it is your guidance council, if it is your principal, whosoever, but speak up about some of these issues that are really affecting you so we as student leaders can be able, or better able to serve you or peers.
It is of my belief that the issue of high school rules, especially looking at dress regulations, is that we need to incrementally remove the uniform policy. I know it's controversial, I know it's in our history, but to prevent further burdening this education system with fixing these problems and debating about these problems, we can incrementally break off from uniforms. So we can start by educating our teenagers and educating our youth about what is appropriate to wear in the working world, since that's a real concern, and then we incrementally break off. Because as soon as we get used to the whole idea of regular clothes, we will eventually move into modesty, and then we can teach what is really necessary for us to move forward. So Minister of Education, you can link me on that.
I don't think I would go as far as to remove the uniform policy. I agree with what Anastasia has said. Even though that there was a release that was done, even though that there is communication going out, we need to understand that communication is two-way and communication needs to come in as well. So the students need to be given a more fair seat at the table as far as things go when these things are being put into writing. Another solution I think that needs to happen is that the teachers, we need to break away from saying that we're preparing students for the world of work if the teachers are going to be in the same schools doing some of the same things that you're telling students that they can't do, like the whole excessive makeup and the high hair and all of that. So if it is that we're saying certain things are acceptable for the world of work, then we need to model it in the world of work. Or if it is acceptable in the world of work, stop deceiving the students.
I said it before and I will say it again. School rules are important. When you follow them, it shows your respect. Obeying rules is a life lesson, but I do not think it prepares us for the working world to an extent to obtain a career. What I think the schools need to start to do is, like, as students reach the third form and fourth form, they should implement a program so that students can go on work experience. They'll get a better idea of what the working world is like. And another thing again is that the school doesn't really teach us much, just basic skills and, as I said before again, just certain values as determination to help us to challenge our thoughts and we also learn to articulate our ideas. So I don't know why y'all hate group projects, because I think it's a great way to build your self-confidence. And there's a saying that there's a teamwork, make the dream work, or something like that. So TEAM, together each achieves more.
Well, rules are important for you to have a healthy and effective life, and high school falls in place for that. It's imperative for us to understand that rules at each level contributes to where you are going. And a high school rule helps you to understand that in the working world, there are going to be rules that you won't like, but you'll have to abide by them. If you have a problem with these rules, don't break them. Don't break the rules if you're in high school. Find a way to get your voice heard. Write to the student council, get it to the principal, that will get it to the ministry. Because if you're in the world of work and you have a problem with the work's rules, then you have to write to your supervisor, who will go to the manager, who will go to the CEO. There are a chain of command, there's a hierarchy. Don't just break the rules. Find a better way to make your voice heard.
So we've heard the different arguments. We've heard those that are pro-high school rules and anti-high school rules. We've heard that high school rules groom us for the working world, but the working world is evolving. We gave our solutions. Now it's up to you. Will you really listen to us? Right after this, we'll be having a dub poem based on high school rules, so stay right there.
Rules are necessary and they govern the land, but no for them for stay upon the plantation. Why can't she wear her hair straight and I can't wear an afro? Why can't I just let my kinks go? Me have a sneakers, it's the strongest type. Can't wear it to school because it's not ladylike. Me want school shoes, me can't afford no more. But they don't care, my thoughts they ignore. For real, the school has nothing know on the place. Can't go to school with that bleach out face. Can't go to school pants they below your waist. Makeup no needed, so rub off the base, yeah. Oh, no need rules and regulation. Either that's our self-evaluation, like Beyonce, put things in a formation. But rules should be rules and not discrimination.
We have to build the youth stand.
Talk of Youth in Jamaica.
Talk of Yout is powered by National Baking Company in association with Colonial, a Stanley and Empress production, giving the youth a voice.
Wait. Take a bite of National Giant Hardo. Nothing comes close. How do you hardo? Bread and patty? Bread and butter?
National Giant Hardo bread, baked with national pride.